All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. We appreciate you being here today. Those of you that are here in the Farrell Center, those of you that are watching online, watching a stream, or listening, we do appreciate you being here for an exciting day in the life of Baylor University and Baylor athletics. Let me make a few introductions as we begin this afternoon. First off, you saw coming up on the stage with me, you'll hear from both of them. President Linda Livingstone, the president of Baylor University. President Livingstone, always great to see you. And Mac Rhodes, Vice President and Director of Athletics of Baylor University. Mac, appreciate you. Let me make a few introductions. Those that are out here, we have several members of the Board of Regents that are with us, kind of right here in the middle. We welcome you, we appreciate you, and thank you for your service to Baylor University. Let's give a round of applause to our Board of Regents. There's a good number of the Tip-Off Club that are here, and the Tip-Off Club board and Tip-Off Club members. Wave a hand, let us see you, and let us say thanks to you. Look at this group. That's a great group. Thank you to the Tip-Off Club. How about this group of head coaches at Baylor University that are here? This is the best group of head coaches of any school in the country. I'm going to ask y'all to stand. They're right up here in the front. Stand up. Yep, look at this group. What a great collection of head coaches here at Baylor University. Thank you. Thank you to all of you. And our athletics executive team is here, I should say. This is probably the best executive team in athletics in the country. Our executive team, if y'all could wave a hand, please. Let us identify where you are. Mostly right over here. Thank you. Coach Collen's family is right up here in front. We'll introduce them individually coming up in a bit, but let me be the 51st person in line to say welcome to Waco and welcome to Baylor. I'm sure you've been welcomed and you will be for some time to come, but we are so glad you are here at Baylor University. There is a good number of former Lady Bears that are in attendance. Let's see you. Wave a hand. If you're a Lady Bear letter winner, there you go. There's Faith right here in the middle. All right. Very good. Thank you for being here. And how about the current Lady Bears seated right over here? Welcome to you. We appreciate you. Terrific group that is here on Caitlin Bickle's birthday today. How about that timing? Very nice. All right, as we continue, let me welcome to the microphone the president of Baylor University. Welcome, President Linda Livingstone.
Thank you, John. It's wonderful to see all of you here. I've missed being in the Farrell Center for basketball. It's been too long already, so I can't wait for next season for both our women's and our men's team. And as you all know, we love our Lady Bears here at Baylor, and we love the success that they've had. And I am so excited about Coach Nicki Collen and what she's going to bring to continue to build on the wonderful success that we've had. I had the privilege of talking to Nicki on the phone on Sunday as we were going through the search process. And I have to say that I was, of course, deeply impressed with her basketball knowledge, her basketball experience, and all she brings to the table in that regard. But even beyond that, her character, her integrity, her deep commitment to the care and well-being and development of her players far beyond what happens to them on the basketball court meant so much. And again, even more importantly than that, her deep faith commitment, her commitment to being at a place like Baylor where we take our Christian commitment and our Christian values very seriously. And so it was really clear she was absolutely the right person to step in and take what is an elite program and continue to develop it at that very, very high level while also developing our players into just outstanding young women who are going to contribute in so many ways in life as they leave Baylor. So we're excited for the family. We're welcoming you to Baylor. We talk a lot about family here, so know that you're a part of the Baylor family. We love you. We're excited about you all being a part of our community here. And as a former basketball player, I am so excited about this. I look forward to what's ahead as we look to the future. and can't say enough about the work that was done to bring Coach Collen to us and the work and the leadership of the folks in our athletics department that did this. So it's my privilege to bring up our athletics director, Mac Rhodes. He did an exceptional job over a very short window of time to identify Coach Collen. Of course, this was a very attractive job and one that is among, and I think, the best job in the country as a place to coach women's basketball. And much of that is due to the leadership of Vice President and Athletics Director Mac Rhodes. And I believe he is absolutely the best athletic director in the country, so we're privileged to have him here, privileged to be his colleague, and so he has some words to share with you as well. Mac.
I just want you all to know that, Caitlin, we planned this for your birthday. So it was, when we had the timeline for the search process at the end, Caitlin's birthday. So we got it done. So, yep, give her a round of applause again. Happy birthday. What a special day. Welcome, everyone. How's everybody doing? Is that the impression you're going to leave our new head coach? All right, let's, one more time. How is everybody doing? There we go. As I mentioned, it is a special day. It's a day where we think about continuing the legacy, the journey of excellence for our women's basketball program. And I very much want to thank Kim, the former staff, all of the staff members that have worked here, all of our former student athletes, women's basketball student athletes who have built this program. It is special. And so if you'd give them all a round of applause. You know, I'm proud of our current student athletes. Change isn't easy. Uncertainty isn't easy. And thank you, each and every one of you, for the way you handled 8 days of uncertainty, the way that you continued to care for one another, the way that you continued to lock arms, the way that you continued to just take care of your business. And so really, really proud of you. If you'd give them a round of applause, please. I want to thank President Livingstone. Couldn't ask for a more supportive president. And I truly believe, and I know I'm biased, but I think I speak the truth. She is the best president in the United States. So thank you, Dr. Livingstone. My wife, Amy, is here. Amy, I love you. Thank you again for patience, for grace. That sometime soon that's probably going to run out, but thank you. And my parents are here. I don't know that I've ever introduced my parents, Mac and Carmen Rhodes. They came to Tucson for my daughter's wedding 5 days after we came back from winning the national championship in Indianapolis. So just a recommendation. I would never do that again. So, where's Kyle Robarts? Kyle was our on-the-ground person that stayed behind while the search committee was out and about. But he was in lockstep with us every step of the way. Knew everybody that we were interviewing, and always helpful with information, timely information. So Kyle, thank you very much. You know, I have a really dear friend. His name is Bob Bodine, and he wrote a book called Two Chairs. And the concept of the book is that you wake up each and every morning, and there's a chair for you, and then there's another chair for Jesus. And you start each and every day just in conversation with Jesus. And I really believe that throughout this search, we had 7 chairs. 5 for the search committee, 1 for the candidate, and 1 for Jesus. And so I'm thankful to him for the way he led us through this search. Quick story, real quick story, but we were interviewing Nicki, and when you're in the middle of a search, timely information is critical. Timely information is critical. Because if you miss a phone call, it might not be another 5, 6, 7 hours before you can get back on the phone with that person. And so I was expecting a reference call on Nicki. And I figured that probably an hour into the interview, I would get that call. So I sat with the search committee, and I said, we've got to have a code, a signal for we need to take a break. So I thought I was genius. I came up with, I'm going to twirl my pencil on the table. When anybody sees me twirl the pencil on the table, can you just say, hey, I need a break? Thought it was really simple, no problem. So 45 minutes into the interview process, my phone starts buzzing. So I start twirling the pencil, and I'm twirling, and I'm twirling, and I'm twirling, and like no one is paying attention. So then I finally take my pencil, and I go, and I knock it on the table. Still, no one's paying attention. And I'm like, this is really good. This is smooth, right? So I begin twirling some more. And finally, one of the search committee members, in a delayed reaction, notices, writes something up on his legal pad, and literally, in a very conspicuous way, says, need a break. Well, he might have as well just stood up in front of Nicki and yelled, cuckoo, cuckoo, we need a break. So the search committee was awesome, but we certainly have some things to work through. I would like to introduce them. Paul Bradshaw. Paul, where are you? Paul, if you'd stand up, stand up. I want to give Paul a huge round of applause. He has served as the women's basketball sport program administrator for 20 plus years and has done an unbelievable job. Kevin Gall, Javon Overshone, Don Rogers, if the 3 of you would please stand, please. If you just give them a round of applause. They were unbelievable. And the way they represented Baylor and the things that they talked about and what Baylor meant to each and every one of them and what it stood for was just really special to see and hear. Tom, Connor, Logan, Reese, Mom Linda, Dad Richard, welcome to the BU Athletics family. Yes. Yesterday, I received an email, and it was about Nicki, and it wasn't a reference or a recommendation email. Rather, it was a confirmation email. And as I read the email, it captured why we hired Nicki. So if you'll allow me, I'd like to read this to you. This is an email, again, I received yesterday. Nicki, as you've come to learn in a very short period of time, is an amazing individual who will be a tremendous asset to Baylor. I've had the pleasure of working side by side with Nicki over the last several years and can share there is no equal. Our first year together in Connecticut proved she was much more than an assistant. She was nurturing, a teacher, a great observer, respected, and willing to help on any front. When we had the opportunity to bring her to Atlanta, there were no other candidates. She is loved by the athletes, staff, and fans alike. Nicki reciprocates by doing all that is necessary to surpass expectations and be equipped for every situation. I can assure you that Nicki will be better prepared than any coach in the Big 12 and would argue the country. Great things will continue for Baylor women's basketball. I'm so incredibly happy for Nicki, but equally for all of you. Working with Nicki is easy and delightful. She has no ego and wants only to please. That said, she will work hard with the team and get them ready for any and all circumstances on the court and in life. Her players know that she is a shoulder to lean on and a voice of reason. Her skills as a mother translate to the court and will do so with these young women she is about to coach. And most important, Nicki is a woman of faith, which helped guide her through her journey. Mr. Rhodes, you and your team have made the perfect choice for the future of the women's program. Chris, I agree. Her combination of high intellect and humility, her faith, her belief in the way her Christian values align with Baylor's, and her unbelievable passion and wisdom for the game of basketball, and the way she pours in to her players is why we selected Nicki Collen as the 5th head women's basketball coach here at Baylor University. Here's to new beginnings.
I think Baylor is the top job in women's basketball. Obviously, long-term success, the resources, the recruiting bed, everything's there to be successful. And so that's why this job commanded so many good candidates.
This is a new beginning. Yeah, this is just a start. We will forget this feeling. 7 years later, I'm back at the top of college basketball. The Big 12 Conference champion. Big 12 champion. And Baylor, how do you like the sound of this? 40-0 Bears finished the job and are the 2005 national champions.
Hey Coach, just wanted to congratulate you on the new head coaching job. I can't wait to watch our Lady Bears play this upcoming season. Good luck and Sick 'em Bears.
I wish you all the best of luck this season, and I can't wait to see your version of the 21-22 Lady Bears.
I am so much looking forward to you being a part of the program and establishing everything that you're going to do for Baylor University.
Coach, welcome to the city of Waco, Baylor University, and the Baylor family. I'm sending you great vibes and hoping you much winning success. Welcome and be blessed. Sick 'em.
This is like one big family. To me, this is the Baylor family. Okay, so whether it's men's basketball or football or tennis or cross country, whatever that looks like, we're one big family and we're all trying to do it the same way, the right way. And that's going to be really, really important to me that we're engaged across the boards.
I've accomplished 2 goals already. I am the most coordinated person on the planet. So I've made it up the stairs without tripping. And I know Connor will be asking for this jersey quickly. My twins are born on April 21st, so 21 is his favorite number. So he'll be asking for that shortly. Thank you guys for coming today. Incredibly humbled to be here, excited to be here. And, you know, ultimately these press conferences turn into like basically going to the Oscars and thanking all the people in your life that you've ever met along the way. So I'm going to get that out of the way. I'll tell you a little bit about me, and then I'll tell you a little bit about why Baylor. Okay, so first of all, we've got to thank and give a big hand to Kim Mulkey. Obviously, Baylor is synonymous with Kim Mulkey, and these banners show that. To her former staff, believe me, I know as a head coach, you're only as good as your staff. You all have to be rowing in the right direction. So to all our former staffs, thank you, thank you. And to the former players, this is your program. From Sheila Lambert to Sophia Young, BG to Odyssey Sims, like this is your program. So let's give them a hand. To Dr. Livingstone and the first gent, thank you. Thank you for believing in me. Thank you for being such a good leader for Baylor and for continuing the path of empowering women. Women can do anything today, and you're testimony to that. The search committee started with Bob. I think Bob talked more than I did on the search committee call the first time. But I learned a lot about Bob that day, and I know one thing: he loves Baylor. To the rest of the committee, you are Baylor. This search committee spoke to me in ways that I've never been spoken to before, and it was like I felt like I was already with my staff because they laughed and they self-deprecated, and you know, it was just an environment that felt really, really comfortable. Winning is about people. It's always about people. Doing your job, the joy you get is about the people. So to Mac, Javon, Kevin, Dawn, Paul, and Bob, thank you for believing that I was the right person at the right time for Baylor. To my current players, where were they at? Happy birthday, Caitlin. We don't have to sing. I am incredibly grateful for this opportunity to coach you guys, incredibly, and to the current staff here right now. I've watched you from afar, and you will always be the priority. You will always be the priority. If there's one thing I learned in the WNBA that's a player-first league, it's about the players. It's about the former players, it's about the current players, and it'll be about the future players. I can't wait to get started, whether it's in the locker room, diagramming plays, on the court. My goal is to make you the best players that you can be. My goal is to hang more championships in here. And my goal is to help you achieve your dreams, whether that's in basketball, on the court, off the court, whatever it is. This will always be about you. To the fans, you probably didn't know my name before a couple days ago. I get it. I get it. I'll tell you a little bit about myself in a minute. But thank you for setting the standard for what it looks like to show up for a team day in and day out. I'm sure it was a whole lot of fun because there were a lot of wins, but ultimately I know that this fan base is a fan base that's going to support these players no matter what. I promise you'll love how we play. I promise I'll carry on the transition well. We're going to play the right way. We're going to compete hard. We're going to be respectful of our opponents. And we're going to dive on loose balls. And you will have fun watching us play. If nothing else, you are going to continue to have fun watching these guys compete. If you embrace me, I'm going to embrace you. And I probably should flip that around because I'm probably going to embrace you before you embrace me, because you might be thinking, is she any dang good? But I honestly, like, I will embrace you first. And lastly, to my family, they're my why. They've helped me follow my dreams. I wasn't prepared to be emotional. I was going to wait till the end for that. Just grateful they were all here. Leaving Atlanta, a place that gave me my first opportunity, a place that believed I was ready to be a head coach, to Mary and Kelly, to the new ownership group, Suzanne, Larry, and Renee, and to Chris Cienko, who I didn't hear the letter, thankfully, because I probably would have cried behind the screen, who championed me my whole time there. Saying goodbye to them was harder than I thought and easier than I thought, because the beauty of leaving behind a WNBA team is they're adults, and they understood from 1 to 15 what an amazing opportunity this was for me. They made this easy because I'm still getting text messages saying, "Kill it, coach." I mean, the first thing Kalani said to me, "I like this move, coach. I really like this move." Odyssey just said, "Go sick 'em, coach. Go sick 'em." And I'll be there. I will be there all off season with Jaden. Those of you guys who haven't met Jaden, just know Odyssey will be around next season when we're back playing in here and we can put COVID behind us. So yeah, you don't know who Nicki Collen is. I get it. I haven't had the same trajectory as a lot of people in this profession. I've been in and out of the profession. I've been a stay-at-home mom. I've been a broadcaster. I've been a WNBA coach. I've been a college coach. I've been all over the country, and it doesn't look like anybody else's path. But I loved every step of the way because it got me here. And I wasn't looking. A week ago, I was planning for a WNBA season. But who am I? I'm a kid that fell in love with basketball in the 5th grade when I hit a game-winning shot in a rec league game and my dad was coaching. I played for Pizza Hut, and we beat American Family Insurance. But it was that moment. It was that moment. And you know, Oprah used to always talk about, what's your aha moment? That was mine. That was my aha moment, because every step of my life since then has been defined by that orange ball. From falling in love with the game, to getting a college degree, to playing overseas, to getting involved in coaching and meeting my husband and having kids and following my husband's career and then making this mine, truly mine. It's been about that orange ball, you know? It was my first love, not my only love, but it was my first love. And the thing about me is that I'm still in love with it. Like, I am still in love with the game. I'm in love with the coaching aspect of it, but I promise you, if I could still be playing, I'd rather be playing. So that's who I am. I live the game, I love the game, and I care about the people. I'm not very transactional. Rarely is a conversation going to be 3 or 4 words or a sentence. A sentence turns into 2, which turns into a paragraph, which turns into a relationship. And so whether I retire here 20 years from now, which is the goal, or whether I'm a footnote in Baylor's history, I will always define myself by the relationships I build with our players, with my staff, with the people that I surround myself with every day. And why Baylor? First is the people. I talked about the search committee. It's the people. I kept hearing that. When I first got the job offer, my assistant coach, who spent a lot of time, he was a head coach at TCU for a while, he was a head coach at North Texas. When I first told him that I was going to interview for this job, he said, "Nicki, go get an offer." That's all he said. That's all I'm going to say, go get an offer. When I came the morning after getting the offer, I said, Mike, I got an offer. He said, say no more, take it, get out of here, and go. You know, and it's about the people. He said, I have so many friends from when I was in Texas that are Baylor grads, and they just talk about what wonderful places, and now I'm a fan too. So first and last, it's the people. Second, it's the purpose, preparing champions for life. If there's anything I missed when I was in the pros, it was the mentorship component. It was really affecting young people's lives. Some pros want mentors, some just want you to tell them when to show up, and then they're gonna punch out and do their thing. So I'm happy to be back mentoring young people, young women, empowering young women to be their best on the court and in life. Secondly, it's the mission. It's the mission here. One standard, one accord. My faith is incredibly important to me. I will tell you a story shortly about that. But this is a place where there's such a beautiful intersection of academics, athletics, character formation, and spiritual growth. And it's celebrated, and that's really, really cool to me. So they say, like, we all know Jimmy V's speech where they say you should laugh every day, you should think every day, you should cry every day. So I'm going to tell you 2 stories, and it'll make me cry, but it'll make you cry too. So my dad, who's already crying, he'll really cry. So there's 2 reasons why I knew this was the right place. One of them, I accepted the job on my sister's birthday. My sister passed away 7 years ago after a really short battle with cancer. And it was just a sign. We're always looking for signs. It was a sign that I signed pen to paper on my sister's birthday. Whew, okay. The second story happened the day before, so it was May 2nd. It was the night before I signed the papers, and Max said to me, you want to talk to Scott Drew? I said, yeah, I want to talk to Scott Drew. Just won a national championship. Damn it, I want to talk to Scott Drew. So we talked. He talked. Let me take that back. He talked, right? Baylor's ultimate salesman. And at the end of the conversation, you know, of course, he offered to FaceTime my kids and make everything okay. But he asked if he could pray over me. And it was that moment, sorry, Mac, it was Scott. It was that moment that I knew this is the right place. This is the right place for me. It's the right place for my family. It's a place where we can, you know, I've always been spiritual. I grew up in a home that was that way, but it was very personal. I would have never talked about it. I would have never got in front of people, and 5 people or 10 people or 100 people, and talked about my faith journey or who I was that way. But when my sister got diagnosed with cancer, she asked me to be her spiritual counselor, and we shared scripture on a daily basis. And it was about all she could do during that stretch. And it was such a, you know, when I lost her, I said, I'm never going to stop doing that. I'm never going to stop sharing the word. I'm never going to stop thinking it's okay to talk about it. At the same time, I never push it on people. I will never push it on people. But I think it's important to meet people where they're at. And not unlike making a player a little better at their crossover or their jump shot, you know, what is it that I can help them with off the court? And that's just one area. So to wrap this, I just want to say I'm incredibly humble. I'm incredibly grateful for this opportunity. I can't wait to align with all the sports who are here who have had so much success, to be a part of not only the academic environment here, but the athletic environment here. And with that, I just say, sick 'em. You got it.
Always good to have a spare mic.
That doesn't work either.
Here we go. Here we go. All right. We are going to let everyone here listen in to a mini news conference with Coach Collen. We're going to take questions from the media. Now, I know, Pat Hickey, I know you've got questions, but just hold on to them. You'll get a chance to ask those at some point. So this is for media only, and our media are right here in the middle. If, Jerry Hill, you be first. If you could stand up, and when you're recognized, please identify yourself and your outlet, and then your question for Coach Collen.
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Coach, welcome to Baylor. First question for you would be, you went to the WNBA, I guess, 5 years ago. Was the plan always to get back to college coaching?
There wasn't a plan. I'm always on the what's the best opportunity, what's the best place for growth. There was never a plan. After my sister passed away, the plan was I wanted to stay in coaching, and we wanted to be near to family. So I went to Florida Gulf Coast and learned a ton from Carl Semesco. When I had the chance to go to the WNBA, it wasn't about the WNBA. It was about working with Curt Miller. So that was the decision. That was the opportunity. That opportunity turned into being a head coach for the Atlanta Dream. So then that was the opportunity. I wasn't looking to come back to college. I wasn't looking to move in the WNBA. I've always believed when you're happy where you're at, things can unfold organically. And that's just what happened here. If you'd asked me a week ago if I'd have been the head coach at Baylor, I would have said, heck no. But here we are. So this was the next best opportunity. And I'd like to stay here a long time.
All right, next up, Bryce.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Coach, welcome to Baylor. My question is regarding your coaching staff, and has that started to formulate? I mean, do you have some ideas of what that'll look like?
Yeah, certainly have ideas. I'm going to be really honest. These last 36 hours have been insane. I think I'll start to get back to coaching and kind of building a program probably after the reception tonight. But really the priority, admittedly, is these players. I got to re-recruit these players. I got to make them feel like I'm the right person for them, that this is still the right place for them. So they've been the first priority. Having said that, yes, I'm going to have conversation with coaches to figure out the staff, but that'll be a work in progress. And I think I said this on a lot of the calls this morning. Hiring a staff is dominoes. You know, you want people that challenge you, that compliment you, that are strong where you're weak or weak where you're strong. And so it starts with one person. It starts with one person that says yes in a particular role, and then you play off of that. Now what do I need? Now what do we need? What do the players need? Whether it's a post coach or a guard coach, whether it's someone that recruits. So it's about balance, and it'll be one at a time.
Jack.
Congratulations, Coach. Jack Allen with ABC 25 here in Waco. Obviously, coming on the heels of a Hall of Fame coach, how do you plan to make this program your own, knowing the culture and the history that's already here?
Well, that starts with me trying not to be Kim. It's just going to start there. The people at Baylor believed I was the right person right now. So I'm going to be Nicki Collen. You know, I mean, I'm going to be authentically me. I'm pretty straight shooter. I'm going to love on these guys. I'm going to make them compete. I'm going to make them accountable. The expectations haven't changed. Maybe how we do it has changed, but the expectations haven't changed.
Matt.
Hey, Coach. Matt Roberts, Fox 44. Welcome to Waco. You touched on it a little bit throughout your opening statement. You were familiar with Baylor from afar. What was kind of the first thing that came to mind for you when someone brought up this job? What did Baylor Lady Bear basketball mean to you, and how does that shape how you move forward?
They're always in the top 5. I don't know that there's one thing. Obviously, you're going to say Kim Mulkey's name when you say Baylor. Hopefully in 10 years, you'll say my name too. That I won't just be the coach that replaced Kim.
All right. Curtis?
Hey, Coach. Curtis Quillen, KCEN Channel 6 here in Waco. Obviously, you mentioned the accomplishments on the collegiate side of the game. How much do you feel your WNBA experience will help you build future pros in your Baylor program?
Yeah, good question. Thank you for saying it that way. I think that's it. I think there's 2 things that the pros, really 3 things that the pros prepared me for. One, I know what it takes to get there, and not just what it takes to get there, what it takes to stay there. And that's a huge part of being a professional athlete is, are you good enough to get there, and do you figure it out enough to stay there? So, yeah, I can go into a home and recruit a player and say, I think you're good enough, and here's how we're gonna get you there. You gotta put in the work, but we can get you there. So that's one thing. I certainly know what it takes to be successful at that level. The other thing is, day in and day out, the WNBA is Groundhog's Day in the summer. It is a grind. It is a around-the-clock scouting, preparing, and what that does is it prepares you because every game's a close game. There aren't, and look at the WNBA scores, there aren't any 40-point blowouts. There aren't any buy-in games. It is a grind day in and day out. You have to be on your game. You have to be prepared. You have to make in-game adjustments. You have to be great in late-game situations. And so those 2 things are huge. Then the third thing is just, it taught me to manage people. Okay? It taught me to manage people. It was whether that was on the college side or the pro side, the first player that said yes to me was Renee Montgomery in free agency. The first coach to say yes to me was Mike Peterson. The first athletic trainer to say yes to me was Jessica Cohn. Like those people, I can't explain how that touches you when people say they want to work for you, And so it's learning to manage people as a head coach because that's not something you do as an assistant coach. You don't meet with the press. You don't have press conferences. You don't worry about COVID protocol. You show up. You work with them. You're a huge part of a team's success. But being the head coach in the WNBA taught me how to work with people.
All right, Rich.
Rich Richardson, CBS Sports Radio, Central Texas. Welcome to Waco.
Thank you.
For the 743rd time. But to expand on what Curtis said a little bit there, your travels throughout your career, how do you feel that's going to help your recruiting pool and the relationships as you've talked about, having those recruiting relationships as you go?
Yeah, I'm going to be heavily involved in recruiting, no question. I think Baylor is a place that absolutely you have to be great recruiting in Texas, but you can go coast to coast because of those banners hanging in here. You can go coast to coast because of the mission here at Baylor. You can go coast to coast and get in people's homes. So I have a lot of life experience. I'm not afraid to share it. I'm not afraid to share what I screwed up at, and what I've done well. I became a better recruiter when I had kids, and I understood what parents were thinking and feeling. And when they would call these 17-year-olds their babies, I would think, well, they're not babies. And then I look at mine, and I now have a 13-year-old baby, So I get it, Like once I became a mom, I started to understand how parents think and how they want this person in their life to be someone that can truly help their child grow up and empower them to be a successful human at that once they leave, regardless of being a great basketball player. So, I'm just going to work at it. I'm not going to be the world's best recruiter, but I'm going to try to be.
All right, Darby.
Hey, Coach. Darby Brown with KWTX here in Waco. Congrats and welcome. You had mentioned the importance of re-recruiting these players. What have your interactions been like with them so far?
They've been pretty good. You know, I think it's an individual choice from each of them. I chose Baylor. I want them to re-choose me, and I want them to re-choose Baylor. I think it's all been positive. But ultimately, I think this is a personal decision for them. I think they love Baylor. But, you know, I've asked them hard questions, or to at least think about hard questions. What do you love about Baylor? What can we be better at? You know, I mean, and the funny thing is, you know, this age group, they're like, are we going to be allowed to chew gum at practice? I mean, that was a big deal, right? I said, yes, I'm going to chew gum, you can chew gum. Let's like keep it in our mouth and not let it hit the floor. So.
It's a good answer. Mandy?
I'm Mandy Knight with Fox 44 Sports. Welcome here to Waco, Coach. Obviously, with this position with the Lady Bears, having a rich tradition of basketball, there's high expectations for success. Has there been a past experience in your life through coaching a player or outside of basketball that shaped you to be able to step into this position, because it's something that not everyone's wired to be capable of doing?
Yeah, we all know the old saying, I mean, everyone's sitting around the country going, I want the Baylor job when Nicki fails, right? You know, you want to be the coach that follows the legend, not the other way around. I don't think it was one experience. I think it's a culmination of my career. It's the culmination of having the autonomy to grow as a defensive coordinator when I was at college under my husband, for Kurt Miller, to allowing me in the huddle to call defenses and, you know, to build the confidence. When you're an assistant coach, you need someone to allow you to have a voice. And that's always been important to me. It's always been, since I've become a head coach. It's why right now I have 2 staff members with the dream that are going to roll with it, because they were a part of every practice. Their voices were heard. They were scouting. They were a part of free agency. I may have been the one closing on the phone, but they were there doing a lot of the dirty work. So I don't think there's necessarily one thing that prepares you to follow Kim Mulkey. You know, it's just these people behind me believe in me. They believe I can do it. That gives me confidence to go out and be me.
All right, very good. Couple more. Couple more questions, Nikki.
Yes, I'm Nikki too. Nikki Lattarulo from Channel 6. So with this happening so fast, what was your kids' reactions to moving to Waco, and what are you guys most excited for here?
Honestly, is this is the honest part? Well, I have 2 16-year-olds and a 13-year-old. My 16-year-old is the most decorated athlete in my family and has more banners than Baylor. She won 5 national championships in competitive cheer this season. So is she real excited to move to Waco right now? No. Thankful for Grandma today, finding a jeweler to ring size her, since she's going to get a ring for one of those championships. They're going to be okay. They'll be okay. But ultimately, they're teenagers. They don't want to move. Change is hard. You know, it's like I want to tell my team, like, I know change is scary, but I can promise you it'll be fun. Change is scary, right? And until you're there, and then you realize what's great about it. It doesn't always happen overnight, but eventually they'll like Waco.
All right, final question, Drake.
Hey, Coach, Drake Toll here from Sikkim 365 Radio. Congratulations again and welcome to Waco. For you, having not yet been a collegiate head coach, where do you find the confidence to do that and do that at a program like Baylor?
I don't know. I kept hearing the message yesterday from people that they were interviewing about me, and Michelle Vopel's like, she's just so confident. She's just so confident. I don't know. It's you. If you put in the work, if you know your craft, you're going to be confident about it. I mean, I've said as an adult, there is one thing in this world that I'm supremely confident about, and that's basketball. How to play it, how to coach it, how to communicate it. That's what I get. Being a parent, man, I've screwed up a million things being a parent, right? I mean, you're just trying to figure it out. basketball is the one thing that I'm supremely confident about, but it's because I've lived it for so long, because I love it, because I'm always learning, I'm always growing. I watch the NBA, I've sat in on NBA training camps. Like the pandemic created this really unique situation in the coaching profession that it became so much more collaborative. Like Zoom happened, and all of a sudden we're all bored and with nothing to do, and we're jumping on Zoom and collaborating. That's awesome. So it's just the idea of like, wow, I guess I'm just confident because I love what I do and I want to be great.
All right, thank you very much. I said questions from the media only, but we'll make one exception. If anybody on this row right here has a question, we'll get you a microphone. Anybody? All right, not right now. Very good. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Nicki Collen, women's basketball head coach at Baylor University.
Don't go far. You can sit in this seat back here.
All right.
Matt's going to take a few questions, okay? Thank you. All right, again, media only. We'll take a few questions for Mack Rhodes, Baylor's vice president and athletic director. Jerry?
Jerry Hill, Baylor Bear Insider. Mack, welcome to Waco. We just got in the habit of it.
Every day it feels like it's a new day here in Waco.
Mack, specifically, what did you see in Nicki and kind of maybe what put her above everybody else?
Yeah, I think everybody, you know, just in this really short time has witnessed that. But man, the passion for the game, her knowledge of it, her wisdom. You know, I talked about earlier this combination of just high intellect and humility. And I think when you have those two characteristics, you're a lifelong learner. You continue to evolve. You're going to be better 5 years from now than you are today, and 10 years from now you're going to be better than you are 5 years from now. And just that continued passion. There was no doubt that she coaches for the right reason. It's about her players, and she's going to challenge them. They're going to be great on the floor, but they're also going to be great off the floor. You know, her faith and how she's just relied on that as her rock, along with her family, faith and family first, and it's gotten her through some tough times. She's got some scars on her in terms of just all of the different experiences. I think about toughness. That was certainly a piece of it as well. So, I mean, I could go on and on and on, but those are just a few of the things. And you know, she's about people, and you can never ever go wrong when you care about people.
Curtis?
Mack, two questions. When did Nicki come onto your radar and the search committee's radar? And two, who was it you talked to about her that made you and the committee realize this is the person we want to lead this program?
Yeah, so, you know, candidly, Nicki's name came to me later than maybe some of the other candidates. It certainly came to us or came to me before we began any of the in-person interviews. I had an opportunity to visit with her on the phone for about an hour, and it was truly one of those conversations where it could have lasted 2 hours, 3 hours, and just really enjoyed that, felt comfortable. And then, you know, it was very little about other people. You know, I certainly, you know, trust some people in the industry when you reach out, when you have those conversations about Nicki. But it was just really the 5 hours, the 6 hours of time that we spent with her, and it just became really clear. In fact, for me, it was really within that first hour that I felt, yeah, she's our head coach.
Matt?
Hey, Matt Roberts, Fox 44. In your relatively short time here, you've made some important hires for programs here at Baylor University. Is that something that crosses your mind while the search is going on? Just the responsibility of getting it right and finding the right person for not only now but the future of Baylor athletics?
I'm not very smart, but I'm smart enough to know that if you don't get some of those hires right, I'm probably living somewhere else other than Waco. But yeah, that stuff never enters into my mind. It really doesn't. It's about the process. It's about the belief. I remember distinctly the search committee. We held hands and we said a prayer, and just asked that God lead us. And so when I'm faced with these big decisions, I don't know, I go into it with great peace, and I know that we're going to be led to the right candidate. I had great people around me that helped. So yeah, I don't get caught up in any of that. I don't get caught up in any of the noise and all of the recommendations and suggestions and this person is great, this person isn't. We stay locked in and we stay focused.
Darby?
Hey, Mac. Coach had mentioned that her aha moment happened with her conversation with Coach Drew and not you. Did she tell you that before? And what do you think about that?
So I apologize. I could not hear that question.
Oh.
And that is not my answer. That is just...
Wait, you really couldn't hear me? Or okay.
I really couldn't hear you.
All right,
I
sorry.
promise you.
I thought you were trying to get me back.
Believe me, I'm not that funny.
All right, so she said her aha moment happened with her conversation with Coach Drew, and that she said, sorry, Mac, about that. Did you know that? And what are your thoughts on that?
Wow. No, I didn't know that until just now. And you know what? That's why we had her talk to the national championship coach. So I'm all right with it.
Drake?
Hey, Mac, when you offered Nicki the job, what do you remember about that conversation? How did it go, and what were your takeaways?
I'm trying to remember that. Yeah, I mean, I certainly felt great about it. And I think Nicki's initial reaction was, yeah, I want to do this, but I have to get the blessing of my family, and which wouldn't have expected anything less. I think I pressed her a little bit, like, maybe tonight, can you tell us? Maybe tomorrow morning. This is only the biggest decision you've ever made in your life, but can you get back to us in an hour or two? So, but no, it was, yeah, I felt great about it. I think all of us felt terrific about it, and I could just see by Nicki's reaction that this was something she really, really wanted to do.
Bryce?
So, Mac, this is over. What's next? I mean, how about that basketball arena? What's the timetable on that baby?
Just believe me, in this job there is plenty next. But we're gonna try to get the arena done here quickly, sooner rather than later. And so let's all say a prayer that we can break ground here in no less than 12 months. So.
All right, Mac, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, we appreciate you being here. We appreciate your support of Baylor women's basketball, of Baylor athletics, and of Baylor University. We can't say thanks enough. Thanks to our current Lady Bears here. We're excited about the new beginning for Baylor basketball, and we are excited to have Nicki Collen as the head coach for Baylor women's basketball. I think we've gone through the whole program and haven't given her a Sick'em Bears. How about that? Let's finish with a Sick'em. Hey, Sick'em Bears. Thank you very much. God bless you.